All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Friday live stream.
Woohoo!
I'm going to be doing some drawing in my Art of Aaron Blaze book today. I'm just going to see how many drawings we can get done during our live stream, and then we're going to sell those at the end of the stream, right, Nick?
Yes, actually, what we are going to do is the next several book orders, signed book orders, we'll randomly get drawings. Actually, not randomly get drawings. However many drawings he gets done today, that's how many books. The next, so if he does 10 drawings, the next 10 book orders.
Yeah.
Get them.
Yeah.
So we're a little tight on the book, so people can't see the entire book. But if you flip through it at some point, Aaron, just pull it down a little.
Yep. I'll flip through it at some point, but right now I'm just going to... But before I get started, like we always do, I know Nick's got some... we got some sales going on.
Yes. So as I just said, this weekend is your last chance for free shipping in the U.S. on books, and you will get one of these drawings. The next several people to order. So if Aaron does 10 books today, 10 drawings today, there'll be 10 books. If he does 20, there'll be 20. But the next several book orders will get that. You can go to creatureartteacher.com/books, and if you use promo code USA Books, you'll get free shipping in the United States on these books. We've also got a huge sale going on the rest of the site. If you use promo code 10-SAVE, you can get any course on the website for only $10, and that includes courses by our very own Ronnie Williford, who is
in the studio today.
Ronnie is sitting off camera. Say hi, Ronnie.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hi,
I'm
Ronnie.
really happy to be here.
We've got Zaunji and we've got Benji here as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
we've got some friends here from out of state and across the pond and all over the world. We've got an international audience today. And so again, use promo code 10-SAVE. You can get any course on any single course or photo pack on the website for just $10. That's courses from Aaron Blaze, Ronnie Williford, storyboard courses, story courses, our courses on writing screenplays. It's also July is watercolor month. So speaking of Ronnie, he's got a wonderful watercolor course on our website. Those are already marked down to $10 for July. But if you buy any 2 watercolor courses, you can get 2 for $15 during the month of July for watercolor month. So go to creatureartteacher.com and learn more.
It's .com.
.com.
So I'm just sitting here scribbling away.
And yes, so my RT asked, is it a signed copy with the drawing? Yes, it will be. So you need to order a signed copy of the book, and you'll get the next several people will get a drawing.
I'm not gonna get super detailed with these. I want to just have some fun, just being kind of free with the drawing.
No, this is not a new book coming out. This is our Art of Aaron Blaze Volume 2 book, which is currently available. We're a little over 75% sold out on them, so we're getting low on books. And frankly, I needed the storage space, so I said, let's get some of these books out of here.
These books I gotta go.
Julia says, I just shared the live. Thank you, Julia. YouTube question, Aaron. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Thanks. How's it going with you?
Hello from Slovakia.
All right.
Well, that's awesome.
Hello from Croatia.
Croatia.
Well, hello.
Yeah.
Hello from Finland.
Finland.
Hello from Canada.
Canada, where's that?
America's hat.
America's hat. How about where Canada's feet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw that on a shirt one time. It always stuck in my head.
Mr. Bean fan Disney 2005 from YouTube says, I'm a huge fan of your amazing animal art, Aaron.
Thank you.
Speaking of Disney, do you think we're allowed to mention the D23 thing?
I think so. I don't see why not. We haven't been told that we can't.
Yeah, Aaron is going to be participating in this year's D23 in Orlando. D23 is where they always announce their slate of upcoming projects, the stuff for the parks. They have all kinds of panels and stuff like that. and they're doing a panel, I think, on the Y2K films. You know, the year 2000
Yeah.
era films, and you know, Brother Bear's in there, so Aaron's going to be a part of.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Speaking of Brother Bear, we're actually going to be showing it this weekend at the Enzion Theater here in Florida. I'll post a link in the comments.
Julia is wondering,
Julia!
is Benji and Zouchi still there?
Yes, they are. Can't get rid of
Hello,
them.
Julia.
Hey, Julia.
We try to tell them to leave, but they just can't take the hint.
They're like a bad penny.
BA English Shrudy asks, will you do a short film on penguins?
No.
You've actually
Next question.
technically have.
I already have, yeah. I have did one on little fairy penguins for Procreate Dreams. And I did it in Procreate Dreams.
So I posted a link to that Brother Bear this event this weekend. We're going to be showing Snow Bear and Brother Bear back to back, and then Aaron's going to be doing an animation demo at the Enzion Theater in Winter Park, Florida, right here near in Central Florida near Orlando.
So if you're in the area, come on by.
I posted a link in the comments, or you can go to Enzion, ENZIAN.org.
I believe this is a book question from Citizen Zero wondering, can you deliver to Germany?
Yes,
Yes.
we ship all over the world.
Worldwide, baby.
All around the world.
This is The Art of Aaron Blaze, Volume 2. You can get it at creatureartteacher.com/books. If you order a signed copy, the next several orders are going to get drawings in them.
Martin says, Dust is doing an amazing job doing the voices of Benji and Zouji.
Awesome Cat Mom says, just ordered one of the books. Well, guess what? You're getting a drawing.
Yes, you are. Awesome cat mom.
She might get a cat drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't guarantee that the drawings are going to go out in the order that the books, you know, like it's. You might not get this drawing. You might get the one that comes after, but you'll get a drawing. You know what I mean.
Joe DeCina on YouTube has a question for all of us asking, did you see the new Looney Tunes movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up?
I did not.
My son just watched it the other day, and he loved it. I didn't get the chance to watch it yet, but he really liked it, and I was happy to hear that because he hasn't watched too much Warner Brothers for some reason. That hasn't really been on his radar.
That's a crime.
Well,
That's your fault.
It is, but in the last, I mean, we've watched some, but it just hasn't drawn him in the way it did with me as a kid. I think there's so much more content out there now that it just hasn't grabbed him the way that it did us. So this was, but he was really into the movie. So I don't know if it was just, you know, maybe he's gotten a little older and appreciates it now more. Or,
But it might make him interested in going back and seeing some
exactly,
of the
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I think it will.
We were talking earlier about, you know, the era in which we grew up and being latchkey kids and coming home,
Yep.
you know, making a snack, sitting down in front of the TV. And I remember Warner Brothers cartoons coming on at a certain time, you know, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon after school.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw and memorized all of the Warner Brothers stuff because it played on TV for half an hour.
Me too. I
Every
remember.
single day.
You know, it is interesting though, because my son is 8 now, and I've got a granddaughter that's 9. And Aaron, you might have noticed this with Avalon, and your grandkids and stuff. I would say for the last 10 years, the Looney Tunes really haven't been in pop culture as much as they were. You know,
No, they're not in there at all, as far as I
Yeah.
know.
You know,
But
yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
Well, I mean,
I'm so
through the
far out of it.
90s and the 2000s, they were still super popular because they were on, you know, you had Tiny Toon Adventures and you had Animaniacs and you had all this Warner Brothers style cartoon stuff.
Space Jam.
That was keeping them alive, and
Yeah.
everybody was getting the Tasmanian devil tattoos and all that stuff, you know. But,
Yeah.
but it's kind of in the last 10, 20 years, I feel like gone a little cold as a
You think about the guys that developed all of that and for the Schlesinger studio, and how they approached it. You know, what their thinking was and how they approached it. And I don't think anybody is surviving that has that same idea about those characters and those cartoons that those guys created. I don't think they really know what to do with them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, because it can veer into just silly slapstick.
They're kind of combining them all into the same.
Yeah.
You know, all those characters can interact with each other. When Chuck Jones was doing those movies or those little shorts, Roadrunner and Coyote stayed in their world, and Pepe Le Pew stayed in his world, and Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd stayed in their world. They didn't cross paths with the other characters, and
yeah, that's true. I mean, sometimes you'd have Bugs and Daffy.
yeah,
Because Daffy and Elmer Fudd would interact sometimes, right?
they had a real specific gag
Yep.
going that kept repeating over and over again. Elmer hunting the duck or the rabbit.
Duck season.
Yeah, exactly. But I get the same feeling about Disney now too. I'm not sure they know what to do with their property.
Yeah, I think it's some of the stuff has just gotten. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're getting generationally removed from it, right? So maybe there's.
Yeah.
So someone asked, "Who's the new voice today?" That is Ronnie Williford, a teacher, animator extraordinaire on our website, Creature Art Teacher. He's joining us in the studio today. I'm going to post a link in the comment to his courses. Treat yourself and pick up a course. Use that promo code 10-SAVE. You can get them all for $10 or less if you pick up some of his watercolor courses. Ronnie's an amazing artist and painter. Do yourself a favor and search Ronnie Williford, and you'll be glad that you did.
Thank you, Nick. You are advertiser extraordinaire.
The best sketching pens ever are Bic ballpoints.
I'm using them right now.
Yep,
That's what I'm using.
That's what Aaron's using right now. Yep, that's his favorite. Someone asked, Aaron, the question just scrolled up. Hold on, where did it go? Have you ever been to San Diego Comic-Con? I'm betting your animation would be awesome there. Ever think about
I went probably 15 years ago. No, more than that. 18 years ago.
And Team Hunley on YouTube
I've never
asked,
been back.
how do I get Art of Aaron Blaze Volume 1? I just ordered the Volume 2 book. Well, Volume 1 is out of print. We do plan on reprinting probably soon. We're going to probably start a call for back orders or something like that. We self-publish these books, so we got to pre-sell them to pay for the printing. Hardcover books aren't cheap. These are 250-page coffee table style books.
All right, drawing one is done.
Drawing 1 is done.
Drawing one is done.
You got to draw faster. We're selling books, man.
There's one.
I'm joking. Is Snow Bear coming to Germany? I can't wait to see it. We did screen it in Berlin recently.
We screened it in Berlin, yeah.
There are some more film festivals coming up. I do believe there's a couple in Germany that it will be
I
a part of.
believe.
Right now, we're in kind of a lull with the film festivals. There's getting ready to be more that ramp up. There's a little bit of a break in kind of the film festival screening schedule through the month of June and July. But towards the back half of July, they start ramping up again. So if you go to snowbearshort.com, you can see the current screenings, and we keep that up to date when there'll be more added soon. Are you using any reference right now, Aaron?
Yes. I've got tons of scrap. I've got lots of it here that I'm using. And when I'm drawing on demand like this, I like to have a little bit of scrap to work off of. Sometimes I don't use it. Depends on what I'm drawing.
Daniel asks, is Ronnie in the studio because there's a new course from him coming out by chance?
No.
Next question.
Yep, move on.
There is a new course for Ronnie coming out, but that's not why he's in the studio today. No, we're not shooting anything currently, but we have some stuff in the works, right, Ronnie?
Oh, most definitely. In fact, you and I will have a little visit about that after the live stream is over.
Greetings from Stuttgart, Germany.
Hey, right on. Hey, Stuttgart.
Speaking of Germany and Stuttgart, there's an animation festival in Stuttgart. I think we're going to be in that one, I believe. Another greetings from Stuttgart, Germany. Hey, Nina.
Wow.
Cool.
Anyone from India? Someone is watching from India. I know we usually have a big audience from India, so let us know in the comments if that's where you're watching from.
Tim Blas says, "Hey, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going?
I have 2 of your artworks hanging in my studio for over 5 years.
Wow.
Really
man.
inspired and love watching you create your art. Order a book, of course, signed."
And Martin,
thank you.
Martin asks,
Martin, who's Martin?
on a scale of 1 to 10, how bored are Benji and Zounchi right now?
I would say 11.
11.
11.
Yeah.
We have,
11 and a half.
one of the cool things about becoming a member at Creature Art Teacher is you get to be kind of part of the family. So Benji and Zounji, we met through the site. They've both been at like watercolor workshops and painting workshops, and they're on our regulars on our live streams, and it's cool getting to know everybody, the Creature Art Teacher family. Sign up today.
Cyane, hopefully I pronounced that properly, says also, "Hey, Aaron.
Hey.
Are there any more plans for more animation boot camp dates for
Yes.
this year or next?"
We have one that we will be announcing soon. We're not ready to announce it just yet, but yes.
Yep.
There definitely will be more next year for sure.
I think we can say what it's going to be.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, technically we could probably, there's no way to sign up for it yet.
Yeah, there's no way to sign up for it yet, but we're going to have another animation boot camp. We can say the date.
It's going to be in November.
Yeah, it's going to be in November, and it's going to be more advanced. It's going to be an intermediate. We hate using the word intermediate because it's so not sanitary, but
Academic sounding.
academic sounding. But it's we're going to do
It's more advanced than the basics.
a more advanced animation boot camp. That'll be the next one coming up.
And if you want to be the first to know about that, I just posted a link in the comments. Go to creatureartteacher.com/waitlist, and you'll be the first to be notified when that is available. Will you make animated animals dancing? Will you make an animated animal dance reel with your favorite song?
I'm just going to say no because you had so much trouble with that question.
Aaron once animated a hippopotamus dancing.
I did.
We'll post a link.
No, I actually don't. I think I covered animating to music in my course. If I don't, I got to do one.
We talked about doing a course specifically on it.
Yeah, because animating to music is actually there's a technique to it, and it's mathematical, but it's also creative. So it's kind of fun in that sense.
How do you feel about people cosplaying Brother Bear characters?
I love it.
I don't think I've ever seen a Brother Bear cosplay.
Hungry asks, "Hey Aaron, I struggle with doing proper body mechanic movements without animating on straight aheads. But if I do that, I can't reliably make consistent animations using pose to pose and timing charts."
Well, you do one or the other. I mean, a lot of times animation is a combination of both. You do straight ahead and pose to pose. And so a lot of times when you're doing complex human mechanics, you have to move kind of straight ahead. But it depends on the speed as well. If it's slower mechanics, then you can pose to pose it. If it's faster, then you go straight ahead. And like I said, a lot of times you're doing a combination of both. So it's one thing that'll help. Don't be afraid to shoot live action. Shoot reference. We used to shoot reference all the time.
While we've got Ronnie here, who is also I think people know through our website, know you more as a painter, but I don't want to sell you short. Ronnie is an extremely talented animator. Do you have any insights on that topic, Ronnie? And
Only that when I used to animate straight ahead at the studio, I always, you're never animating straight ahead and going there, I'm done. It always takes a second pass. I think you should keep in mind that just because you animated through it once going straight ahead doesn't mean then you go back and make a second pass, shorten some things, lengthen some things.
Size consistency is a big thing when you're animating straight ahead. It either shrinks or or grows.
And your smears, your timing. When you're animating straight ahead, you're not really thinking about timing. You're thinking about composition and motion, and so definitely take your straight ahead stuff and make a second pass. That's where you can drop in your numbers, and go. You'll do your in-betweens pose to pose after that.
Yeah, I always think of straight ahead animation as I envision the movement in my head, and like Ronnie was saying, I don't think about timing at all. I think that's a whole separate thing altogether. I just know that within that movement that a character's doing, there's poses that I have to hit. I don't worry about the timing of those poses, but I know I've got to hit those poses and those drawings, and so that's what I focus on doing. And I focus on the flow from pose to pose. How do you move from one pose to another? But then I go in and then I'll do another pass where I'm worrying about the timing.
We just got that question about the November workshop, but before we move on to that, I want to let people know that we've actually got 2 other workshops that we want to talk about. The first is, as we already alluded to, August 7th through 11th, we've got an animation boot camp here in Orlando, Florida. That's 4 days of learning in person with Aaron Blaze. That event had sold out, but due to a unexpected last minute cancellation, we've got a spot that just opened up. So if you go to creatureartteacher.com/bootcamp, you can spend 4 days of learning animation with Aaron here in Orlando, Florida, in person. Your hotel is included, your breakfast and lunch are included, you're going to get personalized feedback, you're going to be one of only 30 students in the classroom. It's going to be a great time. You're going to get
to hear me drone on and on.
Also, actually keep that up, Dustin. What people aren't going to be aware of is that since our last stream, we recently announced we've teamed up with New Masters Academy, and they have launched New Masters Village, which is an in-person campus. It's over 65 acres, I believe, that they've purchased in Colorado, Southwest Colorado. And Aaron is going to be there in September teaching an in-person workshop on animal drawing. We're going to be drawing horses and drawing goats and drawing wildlife in the local area. It's going to be inside. It's going to be outside.
It's going to be crazy.
Glenn Vilppu is going to be there as well. He's going to be doing a workshop the week before Aaron. There's going to be a series of workshops. This is an amazing event. If you go to newmastersvillage.com, you can learn all about it. Check the URL on your screen if you want to go directly to the current workshop schedule, but go to newmastersvillage.com. You can learn all about it. Some more questions here. Do you have any tips on dealing with hand pain?
Yeah, put them in their pockets. Hands are hard. That's straight up. Hands are hard. And I still struggle with hands. But
it's a real crazy mechanical, a uniquely mechanical.
Yep. Study them. You'll study them your whole life. They
said hand pain.
Hand pain. Oh, I thought you were talking about drawing and painting. Sorry.
Nope.
Hand pain is a whole different thing. So, yes, I do have advice on hand pain. I don't get hand pain because I work straight up and down. And what that does, except for today. Today I'm breaking that rule today so that we can have the cameras on when I'm drawing. But normally I work straight up and down, or at least at about a 10-degree angle. And what that does is it forces me to draw and paint from my shoulder. And that, at first, if you're new to doing that, it's going to feel weird. Your shoulder is going to get tired. But over time, you'll strengthen that shoulder muscle, and you will keep from doing this. You don't want to do this a lot, and you don't want to do this a lot, because what you can see you can see the shadows of my tendons moving back and forth inside my wrist. You see that? And what that's doing is that over time, if you're drawing a lot, that thousands and thousands of repetitions are going to inflame the sheath that go around the tendons, and that's what causes that pain. And you get an inflammation of the sheath, and the jelly, the lubricant that's in there, gets kind of worn out.
Jelly.
At the end of Lilo and Stitch, I had carpal tunnel surgery for that reason.
Yes.
We finished the movie. We finished animating the movie on July 18th, and I had surgery on July 19th because I just couldn't hold a pencil anymore.
I want to
Number
go.
2 is done.
Nice. Book number
Ding,
2
ding,
is
ding,
done.
ding. Woohoo!
That's
good.
at least 2 people getting drawings. Go to creatureartteacher.com/books. Get free shipping in the USA this weekend. Ronnie, I want to go back to that for a minute. I know you worked on Lilo and Stitch. What are some of the projects and characters you worked on as an animator?
I worked in the cleanup department, the cleanup animation department for the first couple of years that I was at Disney. And at the very beginning, I was working on
I'm dropping my...
Hunchback of Notre Dame, the little Jason Alexander gargoyle, kind of learning the craft of cleanup. It was a very interesting sort of a school time for me. And by the time I got to Mulan, I can't think of a character I didn't touch in that film because I was, we were all in that cleanup department. We were all working on all the different characters, and I spent a lot of time on Mushu and a lot of time on Mulan and Alex Cooper Schmidt's horses and a lot of the soldiers, and I drew about 1 million chickens on that film, and I remember doing a whole field of soldiers over Christmas one time. Everybody took Christmas break except me. I stayed at the studio on when everyone else had left the studio, and I spent that whole time on a whole field of soldiers. But after that, I worked on John Henry and Atlantis, The Lost Empire. What else? Lilo and Stitch was after that, I think. And I was cast on the Jumbo unit. But I got to spend a lot of time animating Stitch and Pleakley and several of the tourist characters in the film. One of our animator friends in the studio, Tony Stanley, was responsible for animating some of those beach characters, and he animated caricatures of himself and his family on the beach. So I spent a lot of time on that stuff. It was Brother Bear after that.
That hacky movie?
Yeah, that hacky movie.
Oh yeah, what'd you do on Brother Bear?
Well, I don't even know if I can describe this.
By the way, in case anybody doesn't know, Aaron is joking. He directed Brother Bear.
That's right. Well, I worked on a lot of different characters all through that film, but my primary focus, once the film got going, was I kind of became responsible for locking down the antlers on the skulls of the moose.
Yeah, with towing, right?
If you've read The Illusion of Life, there's a great story in there about how when they were drawing the deer on Bambi, they couldn't get the antlers to lock down. They were, as animals would turn their heads, the antlers would swim around and be kind of rubbery, and they had to come up with this method of they would sculpt half of a deer's head with one antler and stick it to a mirror and move that around and project those antlers onto the animation by moving that mirror around and tracing those antlers. I did something very similar where Tony Stanley I guess it was in Maya, he had created moose skulls for both moose, and he had really detailed the antlers stuck to those skulls, and you could turn them in 3D in Maya. And he and Bruce Johnson would animate the moose without antlers attached.
Oh, really?
And they would pass those drawings over to me, and I would take them down to scene planning, and they would scan the drawings into the computer. And then I would take the scanned files and upload those into Maya, and I would onion skin the skull over their drawings and just turn the skull till it matched up with the drawing. And I should say that I'm only doing this with the keys. It's just very major key frames. I'm going through and lining those skulls up so that the antlers are locked into place. And then I would trace the antlers onto the drawings. I would trace them with a red color erase pencil. And then I would take the drawings back to my desk and do the rough black line of the antlers in place. This sounds like a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It was really pretty messy, but
it worked because those antlers came out solid.
Yeah. I would then go in between manually. I would in between the antlers. I would create the arcs of the turning of the head. The antlers would arc in a big curve, and one would arc below, under turn, and the other antler would overturn. You just have to really keep track of that stuff in betweening it. But the result was really locked down drawings. It was kind of amazing.
Yeah,
that was all drawn. Those were not. They were CG antlers, but they were my drawings.
Yeah, I asked Aaron that on a live. I was just saying, I asked Aaron that on a live stream last year, I think it was.
Yeah.
I said, how is it they move with the solidity of CG, but they look hand drawn? And he told me how it was done, but I didn't realize it was you, Ronnie.
Yeah,
That's cool.
It was me. Yeah. It had become such a problem that I think Bruce and Tony were getting kind of scared.
Book orders are flying in, Aaron, by the way.
Oh, great.
Oh, good. So maybe we should CG some of your scrap there, and you can trace it real fast.
Ronnie, do you and Aaron know Peter Raimondo? He was a breakdown artist for Lilo and Stitch.
Peter Raimondo.
Yes, we know Peter
Yeah, we
Raimondo.
know him.
We actually just saw him recently. He came to the screening of Snow Bear here at the Florida Film Festival.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He's been doing a really nice series of
Children's
kids books, little
Yeah.
children's books that are Little Mermaid based subjects.
He was also back in February up at Animation Y'all in Tennessee with the Bancroft brothers.
Oh,
Yeah, we were all up there together.
Again, for people just tuning in, I want to let you know what's happening today. Aaron is drawing in his Art of Aaron Blaze Volume 2 art book. And we're going to, however many drawings he gets done today, that number of orders that get fulfilled are going to get these books with these drawings. So you can go to creatureartteacher.com/books, order a signed book. You can also get free shipping this weekend. This is your last call for free shipping. Use that promo code USA Books in the
Last
USA.
call for alcohol.
And you could get one of these books with the drawings in it. So creatureartteacher.com/books. And then I want to let people know that we have one spot left for Aaron's animation boot camp, which is August 7th through 11th here in Orlando, Florida. There's only one spot left. You could be the last person to get a spot and join Aaron for 4 days of live in-person animation learning. And if you don't sign up, we're going to give it to one of these guys sitting in the room.
another
so
one.
You better get it.
Ding, ding, ding.
All right,
ding,
we
ding.
need a new book. All right, thank you.
All right.
Sanji, you're hired.
Too happy. You're fired.
Those are looking awesome.
What's that?
I said those drawings are looking awesome. They're really
thanks.
pretty.
Artsy had asked on YouTube, Aaron, now that Snow Bear's done, do you have any plans for any more animation projects?
Yes, so we've got several. I'm working on a feature, working on several feature ideas. One of them is a kind of a prequel to Snow Bear called Polar. And so we're working on that. I'm working on some smaller projects that I was just talking to Nick about today. We got all kinds of stuff that we're working on.
Nina asks, or just comments, the aspect change in Brother Bear is one of my favorite details.
Well, I'm glad you picked that up. A lot of people ask me about that, and that's something I'm actually pretty proud that we did that. The whole idea, the thematic of Brother Bear is to see through another's eyes. It's all about empathy. It's all about understanding the world through another's eyes. And so when Kenai becomes a bear, he's literally in new eyes. And so we thought, you know what, why don't we change the audience, their perception, and we'll give them new eyes. And so when he becomes a bear, we change the aspect ratio of the film so that you're seeing it through new eyes.
It's actually part of the reason I'm excited to see it on Sundays, because I've only ever seen it in a home video format where that effect doesn't work the same way.
That's going to be really cool.
Yeah, so I've never gotten to see the cinescope open up. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's a little Wizard of Oz.
It doesn't work on.
Well, we looked at Wizard of Oz for that, because that's another thing we did. Not only did we change the aspect ratio, but we changed the saturation. So that when he's a bear, we did three things. We changed the aspect ratio, we changed the saturation, so it becomes much more saturated color when he's seeing more clearly now as an animal. And we gave the animals eyes that had character. He was seeing their soul.
You know, I also kind of noticed how the film was cooler in the beginning.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
And when it
less,
switches to Kenai's vision,
yeah,
everything warms.
everything is muted.
It all turns real warm.
Yep.
Is it, the brush strokes, are they like fatter also? Is there something?
No, the brushstrokes stayed the same. They're all the design of the film was modeled after one of the painters we had at the studio, JG. He's a Chinese painter, and it was his natural style that we really liked. And he's got this very chunky style that he ended up teaching the background artists how to paint in that way. And so we just loved his style. He did a show actually one day or one week along with other painters, and we were looking at his work and we went, wow, these would really be great background paintings. And so we ended up talking to him about that, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it's also real crazy how few films utilize the change of aspect ratio.
There's a few, but yeah, it is. It is. I mean, it's a visual medium, right? So why don't you use every?
One, obviously, another one is that I know of is the prequel to Wizard of Oz that they made a few years back with what's his name? But it was basically the origin story of Oz.
Franco.
It's called Oz.
Yeah, it's called Oz.
Yeah. Yep.
And starts off like black and white, but then it changes into color and the aspect ratio changes. And then it's the widescreen throughout. But the one most recently that I find really fascinating is Sinners.
Oh yeah. That's right. I saw that happen. I was like, haha! I did that first. I love that movie.
It was good. I finally watched it. It was really nice.
Man, I love that movie. Ronnie, you got to see that movie.
I'd love to. I've only
the music
recently
is
gotten
so
to see the trailer
good.
for it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Martin says, we'd love to have a course by JG. The background paintings of Brother Bear are so inspiring.
Yeah, I just got to find JG. I don't know where he is nowadays. I think he's up in Atlanta somewhere.
Juan says, I'm a lifetime member to Creature Art Teacher, and my son Gustavo always sits by my side to watch your videos.
Ah,
He
that's
even
great.
wrote a lot of insect names on small pieces of paper, cut them up, and prepared a container with them, just like you did in the daily drawings. Now he draws a different insect every day. Thanks for the inspiration.
Oh, that's
That is
awesome.
awesome.
I love hearing that.
Yeah, keep doing that. Don't stop.
Going back to the question about what our next projects are, if you become a member to Creature Art Teacher, you are the first people to get to see those projects. And Benji and Zaunji here can attest to that. Every week we live stream what we're working on, including stuff that we can't show the public. So if you become either an annual or a monthly streaming member, you get access to those streams as well as our Discord server. That's right, Nick. You can't.
It's awesome.
He's telling the truth. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's amazing live stream. It's fantastic.
No, I was just.
Yeah, I was thinking of it.
Yeah, man, it's a great live stream. Hey, where's my $20 you?
Yeah.
I said what you wanted me to say.
Not funny.
It's a little funny.
Alexander Stojic wants to know, hey, what was the deal with the Croatian talking bear at the end of Brother Bear? Whose idea was that? I was so confused when I first saw it.
Okay, so here's the story. This is my ignorance, and I'll probably get in trouble for this. But we have a Croatian animator at the studio, Darko Cesar. He's awesome, incredible animator. And for whatever reason, Croatian has always sounded Slavic to me. And so I said, hey, I want you to, because it's meant to be, he's come out, they've migrated from like across the Bering Land Bridge. That's what it was. That was the idea. And so, so that's why we got Darko to come in and do everything and what I thought sounded, and it wasn't just me. The other guys thought it sounded close enough, is what they said. It sounds close enough, and so we had him do the voice for that character.
And actually, Darko lives locally, and it's funny. He gets that question pops up from time to time, and I know he loves having done that voice.
Oh yeah,
He gets residuals.
yeah, he does.
Oh, that's cool. Well, don't you think Darko looks like a bear?
Yeah, he definitely. He's a big
and
man.
Hairy and looks like that voice sounds.
He's awesome.
Do you
And a
remember
great
what
animator.
Do you remember what the bear was saying?
Not off the top of my head. I have to go back and I can't remember off the top of my
I
head.
bet you our friend who commented that's watching from Croatia could tell us.
Yeah.
Nina K from YouTube says, Edgar yelling off screen, "Quit telling everyone I'm dead!" Still kills me.
That's Trey Finney. That's another
Trey
friend of
Finney,
ours
yeah.
from the studio.
I'm telling I'm right here.
Twitch comment, Darko was my animation teacher back in university. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You must have went to Full Sail.
Yep.
Joseph Kevin Art says, "Hello from Brazil to you."
Hello.
Well, hello back to Brazil.
YouTube comment. Oh, wait, I just lost it. Sorry. Oh, also, I love your wolves, coyotes, and foxes course. I used to draw a lot of dogs and wolves as a kid because of Balto, but I was afraid I had forgotten it all. Well, yeah, that course is one of the ones you can get on the website using that promo code 10-SAVE. You can get any course on the website for just $10 this weekend.
Not a lot of people know this about me in the movie Balto, but I had nothing to do with that film.
What? Really?
People ask all the time.
I know. They ask me all the time, did you work on Balto? This reminds me of Balto.
That's annoying.
No, not at all. No, it's funny because if you draw a tiger, this looks like Shere Khan. If you draw a bear, this looks like Baloo. No, I was just cracking because we get Balto, we get Spirit a lot.
Oh yeah,
I love Spirit. I love that movie.
Great film.
I can't watch it. It makes me miss
Harshest.
Press.
Oh, Press. I know.
Yeah, Press Romanillos
Yeah.
animated on that film.
He did the
And,
native character. For those of you that don't know, Press Romanillos was a wonderful friend of ours, animator, who we lost a few years ago, and but he created the Shan Yu and Mulan, and he did the Native American character and the Spirit. He's wonderful.
Actually, we have a video on Aaron's YouTube channel where we did a studio tour of Ronnie's studio. So if you're interested in putting a face to the name of Ronnie here, you can check that out. I'll post a link, and they actually have a really great discussion, and we show some of Press's art in that's hanging in your studio.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And that was a very fun video to edit.
Yeah, and Press, his desk is in the Disney archives because he carved into his desk the characters that he animated, and it came out really cool.
And it's such a beautiful, such a beautiful thing. It's one of the older style desks.
It is, yeah.
The early days of Disney.
Martin's got a question for Zalji and Benji. Have you guys been Walt Disney yet?
Never gets old.
No.
Never gets old. Never gets old, Martin.
We never tell Martin. Yeah, we're not going to tell you.
Not that many people know where he's cryogenically frozen.
Yeah.
Artful T on YouTube asks, what do you consider as, quote, basics?
Basics. Well, there's a lot of basics, but when you're approaching drawing, the basics that you want to think about. You want to think about light and shadow, shape, line quality, all these different things that carry drawing. And then once you get out of drawing, you're going to start talking about color and hue and chroma and saturation and all kinds of things. What am I missing, Ronnie?
Well, I think that I have this attitude.
You got a bad attitude.
You got to begin by really looking at the kind of artwork that inspires you. If you really love the way comic books are drawn, emulate comic books. If you really love the way, if you like Egon Schiele's drawings or Gustav Klimt's drawings, or
one of my favorites.
You start by emulating that and kind of studying the styles of someone else and kind of getting it under your hand. People ask me about manga all the time, and I'm not,
I like mangoes.
Had one this morning, actually.
I'm not a big fan of manga, but if you're a kid and it inspires you, whatever makes you draw, do that. Other than that, it's a matter of just learning to control volume, space, shadow, light. Forgive me for advertising, but I've got a drawing course that starts with the very absolute basics of drawing at Creature Art Teacher, and it begins with how you start to see on the paper and start to control volume and light and shadow and that sort of thing. So, but as long as your pencil is touching the paper, or as long as your stylus is touching the screen, whatever tool you're using, you're getting better. So you just got to keep going. Did I overstate that? I might have.
Not at all.
Kelt on YouTube says, love the wolves, foxes, and coyotes course as well. I frequently refer back to it, and I still use Dustin's photos for practice.
Very cool. Yeah, we've got a full line of artist reference photo packs on our website as well that I'll post.
Hey, Dustin, let me have your cup. I want to show him your cup. I got Dustin a new cup.
Yeah, this thing is awesome.
Nina asks, while we're doing that, Aaron, any plans for a story
Nice lens.
story creating boot camp?
It's a cup. Yes, we are going to be doing story. Yes, we are. Absolutely. So Dustin's a photographer, so I got him this little lens cup.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just
a
don't
cute
accidentally mix that up with your real lenses, and then you'll be like,
Oh, of course,
There's no way you can
I
mix
can
it
tell
up.
the difference. It's a Canon lens. It's not. Sony. Oh, is your phone working?
Why is it not on?
It doesn't look like it's on.
Oh, maybe it went off.
Did you ever start it?
Yeah, I did.
I completely forgot about TikTok. I'm sorry. I forgot that you started it.
No, I guess I started it, and then all of a sudden it hooked up. I guess it hooked up with the computer.
I have to do it. Were there any techniques for helping minimize or fix paper crinkles in the paper animation days at Disney?
No, actually, the crinkles were there, and then they were able to clean that out when the drawings would get scanned.
Or photographed, yeah. You just expose them in a certain way and you don't see those shadows.
Yeah.
They still annoyed me. I hated
Crinkly paper.
animator drawings with wet, sweaty fists.
Oh.
Where the drawings wouldn't lay flat. It was a real stupid pet peeve of mine, but I very specifically flipped paper so that it would always stay flat. And it seemed like there were some people, Ted T was one of them, who reveled in making the paper not lay flat when he was done. It was his favorite thing. You'd see a stack of his drawings, and they would all be even and square on one side, and on the other side, it looked like they'd been through a fire.
Erica says, I just used one of Dustin's photo reference images for a watercolor painting this morning.
That's awesome. Can't wait to see that.
And then Lucas asked, hey, from Brazil, I thought I've bought a lot of your courses, and this year I went and bought some for my neighbor, so I'm spreading your art through my street.
Hey, nice.
Nice.
All right.
Help us spread the word. By the way, whatever platform you're watching this on, hit that share button and those subscribe buttons and notification buttons and buttons of that general nature, and help us spread the word. It really helps us out a lot.
And Test 31B says you got to share that flat flipping technique. I think I was mentioning that to Ronnie.
We'll have to do that another time, but I do have a very specific way that I hold the paper. I pinch it between. I pinch it with the tips of my fingers. I probably look like an English dandy the way I flip it because I'm so careful with it. But I don't believe there's any reason to flip paper fast. Just flip slowly and carefully and look at your work. I don't,
Aaron's a fast flipper.
I am a fast flipper.
Yeah, but he doesn't destroy the corners of his paper. When his paper stacks up nice and flat, he's got a way of handling it so that, you're respectful to the work. And
Yeah, I know what you mean.
that's just the way I feel.
Yeah, some people would just brutalize their paper.
Yeah.
Artsy says, hey, Aaron, I always get this question. Is fan art considered professional art for a portfolio? I would say no.
I would say no.
I wouldn't do that.
No.
No, people want
I
to
say original concepts.
People want to see your ideas, your drawings, not your interpretations of other people's characters in a portfolio. If you want to do that on your own time and for fun and all kinds of stuff,
Yeah,
have
that's great.
fun, draw whatever you want. But if you're submitting a portfolio for a job, generally speaking, I would say no. Now, that said, what's a portfolio? I mean, a portfolio aimed at getting a job is one thing, but then you talk about artists that do fan art and post stuff on Instagram and stuff like that all the time. That's a portfolio, and you can attract a big following that way. So
Yeah.
You know?
Now, when I was part of the review board at Disney, and we never wanted to see cartoons or fan art or anything like that. We always wanted to see, now it was a different time, but we always wanted to see, you know, traditional figure drawing, animal drawing, good painting.
You guys were talking about Warner Brothers earlier. Have you ever watched The Iron Giant? It's one of the best animated films, in my opinion, says Animal Girl 101 on YouTube.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
No, we love
We love that movie.
Brad Bird,
Yeah, we're big fans.
But
who also directed Ratatouille,
Oh, yeah, another one.
Incredibles.
Ding, 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 ding. There's another one.
But I'm mentioning of the different flipping styles, maybe start thinking of an idea for maybe a YouTube video down the road. Getting all the old Disney animators back together and showing on how they flip and just showing like the different styles of flipping the paper
Yeah.
there was in the studio.
Well, it depends on a person's personal personality, I suppose. But flipping the paper, how you do it, is way less important than how good your work is coming out.
Right.
I put most of your concentration into your animation and your drawing, and don't worry too much about the flipping. If you've got a basic handle on it, you know, you can flip it however you want. But the work itself is what's important. What tool you use, like which pen you use or which pencil or you know, none of that is as important as the work. So I wouldn't get all that hung up on the how you flip. If you've got it working, if it's working for you, and if you want to experiment a little, you can do that. But otherwise, keep the bulk of your concentration on the actual drawing.
Now, having said that, Ronnie, that reminds me, if you do want to learn how to flip, we have a course on paper animation
Yes, we do.
at Creature Art Teacher.
That is miraculous.
And Aaron teaches you his approach to how to flip paper in the course.
That is magical.
Nice tee up there, Ronnie.
And knock it down.
And the pitch.
Twitch comment. I didn't know Aaron streams on Twitch. We sure do. Thanks for tuning in.
Here I am.
Aaron Blaze Art on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook.
Thanks for tuning in.
Aaron, have you ever tried using OpenTunes or Storyboarder? I use those software for my work. He's never tried OpenTunes. That came up last week, actually. That one was created by Studio Ghibli. Have you ever tried it, Sound G, or anything?
No. Well, no, I haven't used it.
I know you haven't. We were talking about that
I
before.
know you have. You do.
I've heard good things about it. I've just never used it. I heard it's a little bit of a steeper learning curve than some of them out there, but it is free now. That's why it's called OpenTunes.
Special guest, bro. Aaron is a librarian's worst nightmare.
Proco. Probably because we're so loud. At least me.
I got a question. You were on the review board and do you remember going through? I was just wondering if Aaron, in the review board, if you remember going across Ronnie's portfolio.
Yes, specifically, very specifically, because I grabbed the portfolio and I went to Trey Finney because we never got people that could draw animals. It was very rare to get people that knew how to draw animals. And so all of a sudden, here was this portfolio that was full of these beautiful animal drawings. And I grabbed it and I went out to Trey Finney. I said, "Hey man, look at this." And then that was my first introduction to Ronnie Williford. Yeah.
And
then we became buddies. And then we discovered that we were both part of the Society of Animal Artists.
And you both like to play guitar.
Yes.
we have been conjoined twins ever since.
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions for getting out of a composition rut? I feel like I keep arranging my subjects in the same way.
Well, then stop it. Seriously, I mean, that's if you're doing it the same way every time, then force yourself. Look at look at other work, try working in a different format. You know, a lot of times you're working in, you know, people are working in the same format. You know, try working in a really long horizontal or a long vertical or a square or a circular format.
And change the size.
Yes.
Go ridiculously big, and it will, you know, when you're creating compositions the same way, it's because you're working the same size and the same shapes, like Aaron says, you know. But go really big so you're having to draw from your shoulder, or, you know, twist your whole body to make a line.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just force yourself to look at other compositions, look at other artists, go online. You know, and Ronnie does this too. I mean, we're huge fans of classical artists, and you know, we're hugely influenced by you know, what's been done before. And I think a lot of young artists don't look at, you know, classical art as much anymore. Look at classical art. Look at how things were done. You know, look at wonderful painters, Sargent and Sororia and Zorn and all these wonderful painters that just did incredible things around the turn of the century.
Not to just keep plugging our courses, but you know, and seriously, we have a storyboarding course from Woody Woodman, and he's got a whole exercise in there all about composition, where it's a classic. There's three pieces on a table, and you have to do like 30 different compositions of the tea, and you have to get, you know, you have to force yourself to go through all these different compositions. And sometimes just thinking that way, thinking graphically, can help. You know, maybe the teacup is really large in the foreground and the teapot is far off. You know, think about Z, depth, space, all kinds of stuff. You know,
And drawing in focus, out of focus.
Yep.
You know, million ways to see.
And storyboarding courses can be great for composition because you have a fixed frame format typically, right? That 16:9 frame, more or less, right? You know, you're dealing with a horizontal format at the very
Well, that's
least.
one of the reasons I loved
loved
when we opened up the aspect ratio on Brother Bear. We went into that C-scoped aspect ratio, which is, it's more than a 2:1. It's like 2.4 to 1, which is awesome. That's a really fun horizontal composition to work with, or format.
I know. When I started working on this mermaid series that I'm doing now, and was having a hard time with they all started looking alike to me. I was looking at the Richard Diebenkorn paintings, which are non-objective. It's modern art. And well, Richard Diebenkorn painted some representational stuff, but it's very graphic, and compositionally, it broke my skull.
Yeah.
Looking at it made me start seeing in a new way.
It's funny because I've said this example before. Some of that artwork, you have to see it in person to appreciate it. I used to, like, I'd see stuff in books, like Jackson Pollock, and I'd be like, whatever. But then I saw it in person, and again, first of all, it's way larger than you have no sense of scale when you see stuff in a book.
Yeah.
And
you're absolutely right.
It was amazing the depth sense that it had, that, you know, all that stuff gets flattened when you reproduce something to a book. You lose all of that, you know, that feeling. I remember seeing them some of them were in the National Gallery in DC, and I remember some of them, it felt like you could step into them, you know, just felt like there was that much.
I feel that way with Franz Klein too. There's another one that's just really wonderful, super abstract, but great, very calligraphy type, you know, compositions.
Someone asked Aaron, just because they're not familiar with this book, is there any chance you can flip through some of the pages of the book so they can see what else is in the book?
Sure.
And for people who don't know that might just be joining us, this is Aaron Blaze's Art of Volume 2 book, which you can get with free USA shipping this week at creatureartteacher.com/books. And the next several orders we get are going to be getting these books. So these ones that he's doing the drawings in. So however many drawings he gets done today, we'll be fulfilling the book orders in the order they come in. You'll be getting a drawing.
Yes, so these are digital paintings, figurative paintings,
Bring it a
animal
little
paintings.
lower in the screen if you can. You're kind of cutting it off.
Slip it down.
If you just slide it down on the lip, you'll be fine. That's good. Yeah. Right there.
Traditional art, digital art. This is Conte on board. All kinds of stuff. Watercolor, yep, that falls under traditional. And tons and tons of stuff in here.
And it's a collection of animal art, concept art.
Concept art for my films, my animal art, like I said, figurative art, all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
I love to be diverse in my subject matter and the portrayal of the subjects stylistically. I like to be diverse stylistically. I love doing realistic. I love doing caricatured, more abstract type stuff, all kinds of stuff. Here's characters, all kinds of stuff in here. So there you go. That's one of my favorites there.
Yeah, that was a really
Fiesta.
fun one.
And a lot of the animal drawings, if not all of the animal drawings, if I used reference, it was all my own reference. This painting right here, this oil painting was, I did this as part of my oil painting course on my website.
Which
Right there.
you can get for $10 if you use promo code 10-SAVE.
So there we go. So yes, there it is. There it is, folks. Well, that's the way it is. Yes.
By the way, I want to point out too that our courses are not just like a single video lesson. A lot of these courses are 20 or 30 hours. Some of them go up to 40 hours. It's crazy. We've got 10-hour courses. We've got 5-hour courses. But everything's substantial and a nice meaty course that, you're going to learn a lot. Ronnie's got some courses. One of your courses, it might be the painting out in the field course, where you actually show how to make your own.
Oh, yeah.
It all of a sudden turns into like a lovely episode of This Old House, where you're in the wood shop and you're showing. He takes an old cigar box and turns it into a field painting kit, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm a huge believer that you don't need to spend, thousands of dollars on your gear. You can, if you have a handsaw and some glue and, a little imagination, you can put your own paint boxes and gear together the way you like it, in the way that you like to use it. And I've had people ask me about doing a class on, making your own drawing board, making your own easel, studio sized furniture. Because I've built all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
The drawing board that I do all my paintings on.
You've made guitars too,
I
right?
built it out of scrap. Well, I don't know if a guitar making video would be popular on Creature Art Teacher, but
I was just saying in general.
But it
You've
might.
built all kinds of stuff, right?
yeah, that's I think that's really important, that spend all your money on really high quality materials, and then make your tools disposable.
Yeah, that's good advice. Scout the Otter on Twitch asks Aaron, hello, quick question. Have you ever drawn or animated an otter before?
Yes. Next question.
Martin mentions of the courses and goes, and then you have the Birds of Prey course.
Oh yeah, 55 hours long. Yeah. Lucas comments, all of your courses are very complete, very well explained, and very carefully edited. And they have captions. Great courses. Yeah, we do. We have all of our courses are all subtitled into English, Spanish. We're adding, a bunch of them have Portuguese already, but we're adding that to a lot more. We're actually going through the process right now of adding even more languages to as many courses as we can.
Cool.
Yeah. Because as many people in the world speak English, there's a lot more that don't.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Foxy Pete says, I would love a guitar making video, Ronnie.
I can make some recommendations for you, but I don't think I'll make one of those.
And Goat Babe on Twitch says, and the best part of this book is the QR codes in the back. As
Oh yes, I forgot
they
that.
have a whole bunch of time lapses
Yeah.
if you want to see how the art is made.
So here's the QR codes, and there's a whole bunch of them back here. And you just click on those QR codes, and it'll take you to the making of that piece.
Whether if it's a live stream or a YouTube video.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Daniel says or asks, I recently saw a deleted scene in Brother Bear where he confesses to Coda fully without the music covering it. Man, was that heartbreaking, but the storytelling I felt was fantastic. Why was it cut?
Because it was very in your face. We had an executive note that felt it was too harsh. And yeah, I co-wrote that section actually. And I always fall on the very dramatic side. And so I actually went ahead and I did the alternative that ended up in the film, which was I thought if we could get Phil to write music that could cover it, and then all we would do is hit the most important things that he would say. Like, you know, I did something very bad and your mother's not coming, and all these things that really hit home. You know, Coda saying, I don't like this story, you know, and then everything else was covered by music. And we had that rotating camera. I remember I sat in my office for a couple of nights with watercolor paints and everything to really sell that idea. Because I remember telling our producer, Chuck Williams, and our co-director, Bob Walker, I had this idea for it. And I said, give me a couple of nights. And after hours, I sat in my office and I storyboarded that whole section. And then I pitched it to him. And then that's what we ended up using in the film.
And Florian asks on Facebook, Ronnie, well, how about a course on how to play guitar then?
If you have a YouTube account,
Yes.
you can actually learn to play any song that's ever been written under the sun.
Steven and I were talking about, did you ever see back in the day, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
Oh,
off.
well, that's okay.
Brian Setzer had a How to Play Guitar with Brian Setzer. And it is the most over-the-top course because it's like, okay, here's a basic chord, and then a there's like no in-between. You're just straight to like...
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. It was done back in the 80s.
Yeah, yep.
A company called Hot Licks.
Right.
And
It was as only Brian Setzer could play.
And I've seen that video. I've seen that.
I'm sure
course.
it's on YouTube at this
And
point.
and his playing is outstanding. Like
Yeah.
it's delightful. But some of those guys are not teachers.
Yeah. Right, of
You know,
course.
some of those guys are great players, but they just can't teach. And but the great thing about YouTube is there are plenty of people there that are outstanding teachers, but they have issues with stage fright or you know, or they don't communicate on a personal level very well, but they're really technical and can be very clear. And I had thought at one point about doing a guitar video, and there's nothing I can do that I can think of that hasn't already been done
Right.
probably better than me.
The hardest thing is, right, I mean, if you're going to do something like that, it's just got to be, this is my approach.
Yeah,
Right? That's, you know, this is how I approach it, because you're right. The cool thing about YouTube, Steve and I were joking about this the other day. He's like, man, if YouTube was around when I was a kid, I'd probably be a better guitar player than I am, because like, you literally can learn anything you could
can learn
possibly
anything.
want to know. And if you don't like that teacher, I guarantee you there's another one a click away.
If you want to learn to play Eruption from
Yep.
Eddie Van Halen, there are literally 50 guys teaching that. And I have, I kind of have the things that I like to do, and I think it's fun to take popular songs and mash them into the wrong genre. I find that really funny for some reason, and I like to do things like that. But other than that, I don't know what I would contribute.
Real quick, just circling back to what a comment Aaron said. This is from Proco.
I was going to say it.
I always fall on the dramatic side, says the man who made the most gut-wrenching film about a polar bear I've ever seen. I believe you, LOL.
And believe is in all caps.
Yeah. If you don't know what we're talking, if you don't know what we're talking about, I posted a link. Go to snowbearshort.com. That is Aaron's recently completed animated short film, Snow Bear. It's currently making its festival run. We'll have some news on when you'll be able to watch it soon. But you can learn more at snowbearshort.com and maybe see if it's coming to a town near you or a festival near you.
And check out Proco.
Yeah, definitely check out proco.com if you want to learn anything about a variety of art topics, but he's especially strong on figure drawing, anything of that nature. Incredible courses over there.
I mean, he's all right. No, he's cool.
He's all right. He's all right. He's all right.
Playing with it, right?
Yes. I played bass.
Oh, that's cool.
Poorly.
Right?
Yes. I am
It's all
by
about
far
that
the
bass.
least talented member of my band, and I will admit that.
What do you guys call
X-1.
X minus?
We are a sci-fi punk band.
Rebecca Boss on Facebook says, Aaron, dramatic? Never.
All right. What are we up to? How many have we done?
Well, how many were in the first box?
There's
Seven?
six. There's 6 in each box.
I've done,
You know-
I'm on my 7th, or I've done 7.
You've done 7.
Oh, great. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
I have a director's question, Aaron.
Yeah.
You could always do some Sharpie ones too if you want to.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Nah.
You know, director's notes or like notes from executives are, you know, you can expect them. It's a common thing.
Yeah.
And I always thought of them as being extremely annoying and interrupting the process.
Yeah.
But like, did you find them to be extremely helpful?
Yes. Depend on the executive. I have deep respect and admiration for Tom Schumacher, who was one of our executives at the time. He really was good at hitting it on the head.
Okay.
And so I really, you know, I didn't mind getting stuff from him. There were other executives that I didn't like getting notes from. David Staten, who I didn't think was.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I'll openly talk about that. But then, you know, no matter what you think of the guy, Lassiter was really great with notes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was amazing with notes. Yeah, so I had, you know, really good experiences by and large with executives. And Pam Coates was good with notes. Peter Schneider I thought was good.
Okay.
You know, we fell on, I would depend more on, you know, other filmmakers. And then, you know, the executives, a lot of the times they didn't give the solution. They just gave the note. And that's why I really liked working with Tom Schumacher and those guys, because they were good about that. And I was a new director, and there were so many times that I should have been fired for just for being incompetent for what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I didn't know when I took the job.
Yeah.
And they really supported me and knew that I was going to learn on the job. And I'll always respect them for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Scribbles asks, question, could the storyboarding courses be useful for comics or graphic novels as well? Well, absolutely. I mean, because you're talking about sequential storytelling. They're geared towards cinematic, of course, so you're not going to learn things like, you know, page layout. But as far as storytelling and composition, yes, I would absolutely say they could be useful for that. Because, you know, the one thing about storyboarding is can be about getting ideas across economically in an economic number of drawings, right?
Yep.
James Jones Arts says, I just ordered a book. I can't wait to see it in person.
Hey, there you go. You got a drawing.
Oh wait, I already asked that one. Raul says, hi from Brazil.
Hey, Raul.
There are marmosets here that come near my house, and Aaron's drawing animals from Life's course inspired me to try to do gesture drawings of them and record them as reference for drawings.
Ah,
That's pretty cool.
obrigado.
Marmoset would be a fun subject.
Yeah. And Alondra says, your watercolor painting course with Aaron Blaze is what made me finally understand the concept of watercolor and helped me have a lot of fun with it. Your way of teaching is really amazing.
I'm glad you like it because watercolor should be fun. That's the first traditional medium outside of drawing that I learned as a kid, or I started learning, because watercolor you can learn all your life and perfect it your entire life. But I started learning watercolor when I was 8 years old.
And I posted a link to all of our watercolor courses. July is watercolor month. It's National Watercolor Month. And all of our watercolor courses are on sale for just $10 each, or 2 for $15. And we've got courses from Aaron. We've got courses from Ronnie. We've also got a wonderful course from Jenny Medved as well. And she has a completely different approach to watercolor, and that's what's cool.
That's
is
awesome.
that different teachers and different instructors can have different approaches to stuff. And there's value to be learned in all of it.
That's 8 of them, Aaron.
Yeah, I'm going to hit 10 at least.
Outer Roll says, I'm going to start with Ronnie's watercolor courses tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
I know you guys are still promoting Snow Bear, but are there any online workshops planned? We are actually working towards announcing some online workshops soon.
Yep.
I think they mean one of our Saturday ones, but we've got some other stuff planned.
Yeah,
as
they're going to
well.
be bigger.
Yep.
They're going to be online, and they're going to be bigger. More than just one day.
We'll still do one-day ones from time to time, but yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron, have you ever had an animal that took you a little while to understand and how to draw?
Elephants.
Oh, man.
Elephants, without a doubt.
I still run into stone walls on certain parts of their anatomy.
Yep. Now I got to draw an elephant next.
That is the most difficult skull to understand
Yep.
for me.
Oh, the elephant.
Depends on how you're feeling, Aaron. But those books do have some of your character stuff in there. Oh, you're doing the Snow Bear now. Never mind. I was gonna say you can do some character stuff.
You haven't been watching.
My back's been to the.
I've been doing a fair
Every
amount.
time I turn around, it's been like lions and bears and stuff like that. Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Erica says, elephants were my mom's favorite animal.
They're pretty cool. They're unique. There's nothing like them.
Yeah, and being with elephants in person is life-changing.
It is.
Merritt Andrews asks,
Merritt,
hey, Aaron and Ronnie, have you two been to Two Tails Ranch, all about elephants in Williston, Florida? Let's go.
Start the car, Merritt. That sounds awesome.
I haven't been. Sounds good to me.
I just recently visited the Chase Wildlife Sanctuary. I can't remember the town it's in. It's a couple hours from where we live. but that place would be an awesome place to go and draw because it's you're kind of in the enclosures with the animals, interacting with them, and
Yeah.
there's nothing like having a lemur going through your pockets, looking for treats, or an anteater, sticking their tongue in your ear.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Katie asks, any advice for setting goals and tracking progress in your art skills? I sometimes struggle with knowing if I am improving and how to measure that progress.
Well, don't get hung up on measuring that. Don't get hung up on, just make sure you're creating. And obviously, don't get hung up on measuring yourself to other people as well. That's another one that'll sink you.
Boy, no
Just
kidding.
as long as you're creating, as long as you're drawing, as Ronnie likes to say, getting the paper dirty, then you're going to be learning.
Yeah,
And
that would be horrible to have to track it,
Yeah, don't get hung up on that.
It should be more fun than that.
Yeah, just have fun doing it, and just know that over time you will get better.
Also,
drawing, improving at drawing, and improving at any of that kind of thing is like grass growing. You don't see it happen right away. It's just something that you look back on it, and all of a sudden you realize, oh my gosh, I'm better than I was last year, or I'm better than I was 2 years ago.
yeah, and sometimes the way you progress, we've talked about this before, it's not like a steady graph that just keeps going up and up. A lot of times it's more like jumps of plateaus, and you'll have a breakthrough and you'll be on a plateau for a while, and sometimes you might feel like you're regressing, but you're not.
You ever see that helical? There's like a helical diagram where it's kind of like two sets of steps. I don't know how to describe it, but it's your progress is flatlining while it feels good, and while it doesn't feel good, and that line flatlines your learning.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if you're not struggling, you're not learning typically, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like any sort of physical exercise, right? If you're not breaking a sweat, you're not getting.
Well, I've never learned anything from my successes.
Right.
My failures are always where I find my best new ideas or new ways of doing things, and
Thanks.
so yeah, I think that you're absolutely right about the way it progresses. It kind of does it in jerks and jumps and flattens out. Sometimes it drops off a little, and then you make another discovery.
Aaron says a lot of times when you're struggling, that's usually right when you're about to make a breakthrough, when it feels like you've been struggling for a long time. Right, Aaron?
Yeah, absolutely. That's how it is for me.
Not to put words in your mouth, but don't you say that? Juan says, I love your channel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we had another comment, someone watching from Brazil, who I believe was Ishmar, said, I recently got your Introduction to Animation course. I love it.
That's awesome. Thank you.
A lot
Thank you
of
for
people
getting
watching
it.
from Brazil today. Thank you. Someone did ask earlier, have you ever been to India?
I have. I've been to Delhi.
Aaron, I've been working on my portfolio for a long time, but I don't have too much to show. I still have to fill it out a bit. Would you be willing to take a look at it at some point?
Well, I'm going to be, at some point, we're going to be offering that service. We're not set up to do that yet because we get literally hundreds of those requests, and I don't have enough time in the day to be able to do that. But when we are able to do that, then we will definitely let you know.
Yes. And we have, for members from time to time, done portfolio review sessions. We should
Yes.
probably schedule another one of those soon.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad.
And we do have a plan to start addressing some of that more. Actually, it was something I want to talk to you about, Ronnie, too. Maybe occasionally doing, quarterly, like, hey, we're going to have a day with Ronnie where, he looks at portfolios and gives feedback, and we do it, in a session for an
I'd be
hour or
happy to
something.
do that. I'm anything that helps people along. I'm all for it.
About portfolios also, I have a question. This is from Lucas.
Hey, Lucas.
I'm putting together some character design and small animation, about 5 seconds. Is that a good way to show? Oh, sorry. I'm putting together some character designs plus 5 seconds of animation. Is that a good thing to show? I think they're trying to show how that.
Well, it
character
depends.
would move.
Whatever it is, if you're putting together a portfolio for character design, then if the animation is good, using those character designs, then that's not. Then yeah, that's fine. But just really scrutinize that animation. You know, that animation's really got to be top notch, and you know, you want your best work in there, not volume, not amount, but really, you know, err on having less great work than a lot of mediocre work.
Totally agree. Totally agree. And you know, Aaron was on the review board at Ringling or at Disney. I used to teach portfolio at Ringling for 4 or 5 years. So less, honestly, is always more. You'd be better off having a thin portfolio, full of, I couldn't get the word out there for a second, full of your very best work than trying to hit an arbitrary number of pages and having some mediocre stuff mixed in there.
And the other thing too, if you're fresh out of school and you're putting together a professional portfolio, don't put in your student exercises. Don't put in your walk cycles and things like that. No one wants to see that. Just to be very blunt with you, you know, you're expected to be able to do that kind of thing. If like for an animation portfolio, they want to see examples of your acting ability and characters interacting and that sort of thing. So that's you know, once you start hitting that professional market, you got to start thinking with professional goggles.
Now, I would say probably the exception to that would be if you're applying for like an internship, and then therefore they would expect to see some student work in there.
Yeah, to me, an intern is still a student.
Right. Right. But yeah, you know, we've talked about this before. You know, you can tell within the first 5 seconds, oh, that's a Ringling portfolio, or that's a SCAD portfolio, or that's because they've got the same reels, you know, with the same exercises and.
Yeah.
I have a storyboard assignment from my animation college in my portfolio. Would that be okay?
If the storyboard assignment is professional quality,
Yep.
then there you go. It all comes down to professional quality.
Because that's the thing you have to remember. You're not just competing for jobs with students. You know, it's not like a company has an opening and they say, we're going to hold this job for the best student that comes along, or recent graduate. You know, there are entry-level jobs, but generally speaking, if an animation job opens up or a character design job opens up, you're competing with people
Everybody.
everybody.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to look, to Aaron's point, put on those goggles. That's not to discourage anybody, by the way. Just have a realistic ability. You know, your portfolio should be a living document too. You should constantly be putting new things in and taking old things out as you're improving.
Yep.
Mirth on YouTube says, Aaron, you're such an inspiration. I've always been super intimidated about drawing animals, but since seeing you at playgrounds, I really found the joy in observing and drawing things out of my comfort zone.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And the Silent Bob 123 on Twitch says, this stream is a great reminder that people can do great art with nothing but what looks like a regular ballpoint pen. Many people today think they need special or expensive tools.
No, you don't need special or expensive tools or special tools.
It's one of the questions we get. It's one of the questions we get all the time about animation. Is people go, "Oh, I want to become an animator, but I can't afford the software." Pencil and paper.
Pencil and
Yep.
paper, baby. There it is.
You know, Brother Bear was made on pencil and paper. The Lion King was made on pencil and paper. You know, those techniques still work. You know, if you want to get the software, go for it. But that stuff is not necessary. Not having the software is not preventing you from doing that discipline.
Yeah.
And Amani asks, when you start your sketch, do you imagine the line of action?
Yeah, a lot of times if it's a gestural, if it's a full body, like this one here, I'm not really thinking about a line of action outside of kind of the thrust of the head, but because it's more of a portrait. But if I'm doing more figurative, like full body, yeah, and yes, definitely I'll think of a line of action for sure. I'm thinking structure more than anything else when I'm doing these types of drawings. And I'm purposely going a little more sketchy today. I like being a little sketchier. I'm having fun with that.
I always like a sketchy ballpoint pen look. It's always, there's something about it that
Yeah,
feels,
it's
the medium really lends itself to that.
I try to channel my Heinrich Clay or my Frank Frazetta. Not that I assume that I draw like those guys. I'm just trying to. It gives you something to aspire to.
I know Tony got to meet Frazetta. Did you ever get to meet him, Ronnie?
I did.
You did?
I spent a little bit of time just visiting with him in the studio. He was in the studio one afternoon.
Oh, at Disney.
He came to Disney, yeah.
He was brought by my desk one day, and you know who I spent more time with was his wife.
Oh, okay.
We sat down and talked for a long time, and I had a real interest in her because she was always his model.
Oh, interesting.
You know, he had her at hand all the time, and
Right, yeah.
and she was his model through all of his illustrations, and then again, you know, for his paintings. And she was such an interesting lady and so funny, and was telling me stories about Frank that he probably wouldn't have appreciated, which made it, you know, more real.
That's cool.
But she was talking about him, you know, he had a pair of roller skates that were like his favorite thing,
Oh, really?
and he loved getting up on those multi-level parking garages that had the where the roads spiraled down.
Yeah. Like at
And
the
he would-
airport.
He would, yeah, like at the airport. And he would get at the top and take off on his roller skates, you know,
That's
going
hilarious.
down those spiraling.
It's kind of funny to picture the guy who does all the barbarian paintings and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and
Jaunting around on his roller skates.
he loved his roller skates. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
But you know, wives will do that to you. You got to be careful when you take them to events like that.
For people, I mentioned Tony earlier. For people who don't know, Tony Cipriano has a number of courses on our website where he teaches sculpting, and he's an amazing sculptor, both clay sculpture, but also digital sculpture in ZBrush and what have you. And he's actually been commissioned by the Frazetta estate to do several sculpts, like
No way.
turning his paintings into three-dimensional sculpts and that. He's done a few.
He's
few
the
of them.
perfect guy for that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Again, want to remind people just joining us, if you go to creatureartteacher.com this weekend, you can get all of our courses on our website for just $10. Use promo code 10-SAVE. $10 each, I should say, not all of our courses for $10. That would be insane.
That would be insane. I got to pay my mortgage.
Stupid.
But we do have 800 plus hours of courses and lessons on our website. So there is a lot to choose from.
So much.
Is it fresh?
So fresh. Listen, I gotta go.
What is that from?
It's from
Let's see if any of the audience knows it.
yeah. See if they do. Is it fresh? Oh, it's
so
so fresh. That's an obscure one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is going to be my last drawing. I'm getting drawn out.
Last one.
Number 12.
How do I get one of the books with the drawings? Well, order a book, and we're going to fulfill the orders in the
Order?
we're going to fulfill the orders in the order in which they come in. So Aaron's on drawing number 12. If you're one of the first 12 to place the book order, you will get a book with a drawing.
And
if you don't, you're going to get a signed book regardless. So
Yeah, they're all signed.
They're all signed. So order a signed book, and you'll be eligible to get one with the drawing. So at the very least, you'll have a beautiful book with a signature in it.
And nobody can guess what it is. So, American Wedding,
American Wedding.
which is the
American
the
Pie.
third of American Pie. Because it goes American Pie 2, American Wedding, and then American Reunion. In between all those American movies, there's also other American Pie spin-offs. Like lower budget films, but those are like the main four.
Yeah.
Martin sounds a little disappointed. Martin says, you've been pretty quiet there, Zalji. Didn't even tell any dad jokes yet.
Well, actually, Sanji just left.
That's why it's quiet.
So quiet.
He stormed out, actually. It was
Sounds
pretty
awkward.
disappointing. Yeah, it was very awkward.
It's like,
For a second, I thought that was Nick that left.
you just called him.
Is this red pencil erasable?
Nope. Not on this paper. I like letting it show through. I like showing the under drawing.
Becca says that Zalji took the dad jokes with him.
Yeah.
And Mara says, I knew it. It was suspicious.
Alexa says, very excited for the Enzian show of Snow Bear and Brother Bear this weekend. Very
Oh,
cool,
good.
Alexa. Come say hi. We're going to be there, obviously.
Yeah, come say hi for sure.
I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be super fun.
If you are anywhere near Central Florida, I just posted a link. I think there's still a few tickets left. You can go to enzian.org. That's ENZIAN.org. That is a theater here near in Central Florida, right near Orlando. It's in Winter Park specifically. But this Sunday, we're going to be having a special screening of Snow Bear and Brother Bear, and then followed by Aaron is going to be doing a little animation demonstration. It's part of the Enzion's Kids Summer Camp program, so there's going to be a lot of kids in the audience. In fact, if you want to bring a child to the screening, it is free for kids 12 and under. Go to enzion.org.
Don Croy in Facebook says, and now everyone with an Amazon Alexa just had it ask a question. Thanks, Nick. And Dragonian says, what book is this for purchase and where?
You came too late for the show.
No.
Now this is my volume 2 art book. It's the Art of Aaron Blaze, volume 2, and I'm doing sketches in. Well, I'm up to 12 now, 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And we are going to be selling these with the sketches in them in the order that people order them. But these are it's my art over the last 15 years or so.
It's actually a mix. Some of it goes all the way back even further than that.
Yeah, but there's only a couple of them. It's mainly the last 15 years, and it's got digital art, traditional art, concept art, personal art.
And if you're in, you can get that book by going to creatureartteacher.com/books, creatureartteacher.com/books. If you order one of the signed books, and you're one of the first 12 or 13, so here, however many drawings Aaron did, you'll get one with a drawing in it.
I'll do one more.
All right, sounds good.
Uno mas.
And also, this is your last weekend to get free shipping on those books in the USA if you use promo code USA Books.
And someone's asking, what was your favorite job? What was your most enjoyable job?
Pizza delivery.
Pizza delivery?
Someone did
I
ask.
hated delivering pizza, but I got free pizza when I was there, and I would go in and I would make the best pizzas in the back.
Oh,
I'll bet.
That's
that,
nice.
that sounds fun.
Someone did ask, actually. I forgot to I saw it earlier and then I lost track of the question. It was, hi, Aaron. First time watching it. What is it that you do for a living?
I am a professional artist and teacher of art. I've been an animator for 37 years.
And director.
But I've been an artist my entire life. I'm 57 years old now, so there you go. I always like to tell people that, and Ronnie can attest to this, we were doing art when the Beatles were still a band and Jimi Hendrix was still playing guitar.
That's scary, but you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always funny when I think of Jimi Hendrix, because it's obviously tragic that he passed away at 27. And Jim Morrison also passed away at 27. And I look back at photos of those guys and I feel like they were older than I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
just look old, especially Jim Morrison. He did not look 27 when, like,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it was all just the fancy mustaches they had back then just made
Well, it's
people
hard living too, right?
Yeah. I don't know what. to
But
tell
you know what I
about
mean?
that,
In my
it
head,
was-
I don't think of Jimi Hendrix.
Wasn't
as a
Joplin 27 as well?
You know, what's that?
Joplin?
Joplin was 27. Kurt Cobain was
Cobain.
27. But he at least, maybe because he was a contemporary, strikes me as a
Winehouse
little
was
more-
27 as
it's
well.
the whole 27 club they call
Yeah.
it.
Poor Amy, she was pretty rough. Yeah.
She didn't really get to experience her fame
No.
very long.
No, she didn't. That poor girl.
Someone says it sort of looks like the reference you have to the right is maybe of tigers, and yet he's drawing bears.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the reference anymore. I'm drawing my own bears.
So what was your favorite project in the artworks you did?
Well, the most challenging and probably most satisfying, or two of them, was Brother Bear and Snow Bear. Snow Bear I did completely on my own. So as far as the visuals go, I didn't do the sound or the music. But that was a huge accomplishment for me. And then Brother Bear was the first feature film that I ever directed, and so that was a that was its own challenge. I almost cried every day.
Now he almost cries every day too, but it's just because
Yeah.
I yell at him every morning.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's just to make you feel like you're back at Disney. right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Aaron, do you ever feel emotional at the content that you're creating?
No. No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if emotional is the right. I mean, I'm proud of the content. I'm happy. Well, not. I don't know if proud is the right word either. I like, every once in a while you look back on the stuff that you've been able to do, and that's kind of cool.
Well,
I find myself more lucky than anything else.
yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I know the ways. I know you get emotional while you're making the art. I've seen you get emotional while you're animating and stuff.
That's what I mean. Are you affected by the story that
Oh yeah, I only want to tell stories that make me emotional.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were thinking about it after the fact, like when you rewatch it or whatever. But I think you meant more like during the process. Right?
Well, either one, but just, people get emotional when they see the film, whether they know what happens or not.
Right.
And I'm wondering if, that can have.
One thing is I find very cool is I spent a month in Asia through China and Myanmar and Singapore and South Korea. And I was talking to, K through 12 age students, 6-year-olds all the way up to 18-year-olds, and in China of all places. And when I would tell them, I'd ask them, hey, how many of you have seen The Lion King? And they all raise their hands. And how many of you seen, Mulan? Of course, Mulan. But how many of you have seen Beauty and the Beast? And they'd all raise their hands. That part, here it is, 30 and in some cases 35 years later, and it's still, these kids are still seeing these films, and they're still, big traditional, not traditional, but they're effective. They're affected by these films, and that to me I find very, very cool that we were there, we were making them. Because that's how I think of when I think of Bambi, and I think of Cinderella, and I realize now that those films, the films that I worked on, are the same distance back now as those films were when I started, and that to me is kind of cool.
Tony asks, "What's your advice on starting your own character as a beginning artist?"
Well, your character is more than just the visuals. The visuals come later. The first thing you want to do with that character is you want to write that character. Who is that character? What are they all about? What is it? A character is more than just a look. A character is a character. And so that's what you want to start with.
Oh, that's funny. Tony also later commented, I guess I didn't get to his question fast enough. The guy reading the comments is a jerk. Do I have to be from Brazil for you to answer a question? Wow.
I'll confirm that he is a jerk.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we're both jerks. We're sorry.
And
funny.
yes, you have to be from Brazil.
We're answering questions from 4 different platforms, and there's hundreds of comments coming in, so apologies if we don't get to them all.
There's no
There's
apology.
just so many. Ink Lightning says, draw a horse for the next one.
Oh, this is my last one.
Renamia, I think that's how you pronounce it, just gave a donation and asked, are bears your favorite to draw? Ever since took your big cat training, lions are my most favorite. Lioness drawings, to be precise.
Oh, that's cool. Well, bears, I can go on autopilot when I draw them, that's for sure. I've drawn enough bears in my life. All right, I'll draw one horse.
That's why
Do it.
But this is the last drawing.
Garrett says, "Hey, Aaron, great art." Sorry, I can't quite read it. Hi from the Netherlands, basically.
Hello.
3 last ones later.
So you've got hieroglyphic Tourette's. You're just flying.
Scribble Mouse Scribble goes, woo, horse. And Scribble Mouse Scribbles writes, I failed to draw anything during this stream. Too mesmerized.
Yeah.
Someone else on Facebook says, make it a unicorn.
You make it a unicorn.
Your face makes it a unicorn.
Wow.
Martin asks, "Have you saved?"
What's your streaming schedule?
Typically every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for this public stream, and we do every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time for our members-only stream, where we show projects that are secret that we can't reveal to the public yet.
What's your favorite breed of horse?
Four-legged.
Like,
I like Limpizons. I like big draft horses, actually.
Oh,
Any
man,
of the
those are my
any
favorites
yeah,
too.
any of the big draft horses I just love.
So like the Budweiser ones?
Yeah. They're on draft.
Yeah.
Wolfie says unicorns aren't real, but they could be.
YouTube question, Aaron. Have you seen the new Superman movie yet? I'm going later today.
Yes.
And I love your streams.
Thank you. Enjoy it.
Martin has a question for Ronnie. Would you do a woodworking course in the future? I love that part of the course so much.
Now, here's what I need you to do. I need you to make a list of all the courses you think I should teach and send them to
In a
Nick.
self-addressed stamped envelope.
Send them to Nick.
Pueblo, Colorado.
We will consider anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're interested in learning it, my only prerequisite is I need to already know it. I don't want to have to learn something new to teach you.
Like Ernie Hudson says in Ghostbusters, if there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say.
Don Corey says if he was a car, the brakes would be faulty because it's so hard for him to stop.
Have you ever studied sea creatures for drawing?
Yes.
I know Ronnie has. He's
Yeah.
doing a whole series of paintings with mermaids and octopuses.
You're doing it now.
Yeah,
Octopi, is that the plural of octopus?
I
Or is
couldn't
it just
tell you.
octopuses? That sounds weird. Is it? I think it's octopi. I don't know. Let us know in the comments.
Martin says Claudia already has that list.
Erica says, I want a course on painting sea life by Ronnie Woolliff.
I've
And
been-
watercolor specifically.
I've been getting a lot of requests about that kind of thing. We'll talk about it. I think that would be a fun one to do. There'd be
That
a
would
lot
be
of
a fun one.
biology talk in that one, and one of my favorite things about painting animals at all is the talking about the biology of them.
BT Sands KZ says, just found this channel, so glad.
We
Yeah,
are
if you're-
happy that you're here.
If you're just tuning in, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit those share buttons. This is Aaron Blaze, who was with Disney for 21 years, worked on The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Mulan, Pocahontas. He directed Brother Bear. And he is drawing in his Art of books, which you can get on our website, creatureartteacher.com. And the next, 12 or 13 orders that come in for those are going to get books with drawings in them.
Shamalo.
Shamalama-ding-dong.
And if you don't get a drawing, don't be disappointed because you're getting a beautiful book. And they'll be signed if you order a signed copy.
Shamalo asks, as the director of Brother Bear, were you the one who pitched the changing ratio on the transformation scene?
Yes. Like I was saying earlier, it was all about seeing through new eyes. And so we wanted the audience to see through new eyes. To see the world differently. I think we could all stand to see that a little bit more nowadays. A little bit of empathy.
Martin says, Erica and I will come up with course ideas for the next 99 years for sure. That's when our lifetime membership ends.
Oh, I will do whatever Erica tells me.
Do you have perspective classes?
Yes, I do.
If you do,
I started, that's another thing. My stepfather was an interior design major from Syracuse. A lot of people don't know that. And so he started teaching me 2-point perspective when I was 8 years old.
That is so cool.
It was very cool. And then as I was very fascinated by it, by the illusion that you could create by doing this academic thing. I just thought was so cool. And then, that's about the time Star Wars came out and Battlestar Galactica and all that. So I started drawing spaceships, but in 2-point perspective when I was 9 years old. And I'd sit there and just create these giant spaceships. It was really cool. And then as I got older, I started teaching myself how to do perspective to scale using projection and all kinds of stuff. And so then when I turned 18, I put together my portfolio, and there was an engineering firm looking for a draftsman, a civil engineering firm. And so I thought, you know what? Maybe they need someone to do renderings, and I could do them to scale. And so I put together my portfolio. I was 18 years old, and they gave me the job. So I worked there until I went to college. And because I was able to draw in perspective, proper perspective.
Rex says, how about a mulicorn? Mules are my favorite.
A mulicorn?
Actually, that perspective course right now is $40 on the website, but if you use promo code 10-SAVE, you can get it for just $10.
And within that perspective course, I teach 1-point, 2-point, and 3-point perspective. I also teach perspective to scale, how to draw, in traditional means, projection and all of that. So it gets pretty in depth. It's fun.
Christopher says, hey, Aaron, I was able to grab a seat for your August 14th through 18th animation boot camp.
Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you.
You are a huge inspiration of mine, and I can't wait to learn animation from you in person.
Well, I'm looking forward to teaching you. Thank you for doing that.
Speaking of which, we have one spot left for our animation boot camp from August 7th through 11th. Dustin, we got a slide, right?
Yes.
Go to creatureartteacher.com/bootcamp, and you could get that last spot and join Aaron for 4 days of in-person learning in Orlando, Florida. The price includes your hotel. It includes your breakfast and your lunch. We're going to have a celebratory dinner the last night, and you're going to get hands-on training with Aaron where he's going to teach you the fundamentals of animation. Also, we just announced last week that Aaron is going to be doing a 5-day animal drawing workshop in Colorado with New Masters Academy. You can learn more about that by going to newmastersvillage.com. So one spot left for our animation boot camp and a few spots left for New Masters Academy. Go.
And we are done. That was my last drawing. You got your unicorn, whoever asked for that.
You sure that's the last one?
Yes.
Positive?
Well, that is awesome. Thank you for tuning in, everybody.
Thanks for having us in the studio today. This has been really nice.
Yeah, it's been awesome having you guys.
It's been pretty sweet.
And if you want to learn more, head on over to creatureartteacher.com this weekend. We've got that flash sale. Use that promo code. Pick up some courses.
Creatureartteacher.com.
All right, thanks, you guys.
We will see you next Friday, everybody. See ya.
Cowboy Bebop.